All right, sorry for the technical problems, but we are back. It is 8-4. Moundridge with a great lead, and Hecox gets a kill for the camera. Now, Finn, recap a little bit of what's happened in the first part of the game for the people who didn't get to see it.
I've seen a lot of kills by the Wildcats. Powerful spikes coming from Cami under Aspen Stoss and Hallie Hecox. Subbing in now is Peyton Wilson and at the line.
Yeah, we know that Moundridge has a very experienced team, and they just
Alright, here we go. We have a break. Here we go. Peyton Wilson at the line.
And Wilson's going to get her first serve in a varsity game in high school. Her career kicks off right there. It's going to be 10-4.
Going back to the line, Peyton Wilson for her second serve in a row. Here comes the serve. And it's over.
And Bennington trying to keep the point alive to Hecox. Wilson's going to set it up to Stoss. Stoss.
Great day.
Tries to tip it over. That point's going to go to Moundridge. And they will take a timeout. The Bulldogs not happy with the play of game that has happened so far. 11-4. Minute timeout. Finn, kind of give us a little something.
Alright, looking into this game, some key impact players and seniors I see on the Bennington roster here are Taylor Wilson, number 12, Sarah Winters, number 3, Jordan Bartlett, number 4, Alton Noon, number 7, and Maddie Schamberg, number 16.
And that's very great. What do you think Bennington needs to do to come back from this point deficit and lead a stronger half of play now?
I think all I've seen really is they just really need to receive the spikes better and just be able to set them up for the point so they can get the kills they want.
Serve now. Going to the Bennington side. They have to get it over. Patrick in the game now. Finds Unruh on the left side. You know, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find the open spots on the floor, you know. Don't want to hit it to someone on the other side. You're trying to find the open area. And Conklin does a fantastic job of finding that pocket to secure the point for the Wildcats, making it 12-4. Now, it is a best of 3 sets. First team to 25, and you have to win by 2. So, if it's 24-25, for someone, let's say Moundridge is up, they have to get to 26 to win. And if points keep trading back and forth, the game is going to keep going. So technically it could get to like 45-43 until someone wins.
The libero, number 15, surging up to get that save.
And that is Mara Pickard.
The tip by Stoss
gets over. Libero. Unruh with a big hit for the Bulldogs. Can they recover? No. What a kill from Unruh. Finding that corner pocket, and they just could not recover from that.
There was some power on that one. Wilson coming back to keep serving.
And we know this is not Unruh's main sport, which is basketball, but still see how the athletic ability translates across all her sports. Bartlett with the serve on the Bennington side. Gets it over. Conklin with a little up and over.
Tip finds the gap in between the Bulldogs.
And you can see Conklin's IQ. She knows, okay, I'm not going to hit it so hard to where they can get it. Just finds that open space towards the spike line in the logo. Finding that empty pocket. Stoss serving now.
Kill ends up out of bounds.
You know, Bennington just needs to mitigate those little mistakes, not let that happen, and that's going to help them close down this point differential. 15-5, Stoss. Sets it way over, and that's shanked out of bounds. The ace for Stoss going into her yearly stats. 16-5 now. First set. And we'll get our scoreboard up to date for you guys back at home. Absolute hammer of a hit, just off the ceiling point to the Wildcats. Destructional. And don't forget, Friday night, we will see the boys face off Bennington at home. And we will be live for that one. So make sure to tune in and subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can be up to date with all Wildcat sports activities.
On that play, Abby Gans's tip just falls short and lands in the net.
You know, one name that stuck out to me on the Bennington side is Abby Gans. With a senior this year, she's got a lot of potential to live up to from what I've heard from the coaches. You know, I asked her before the game, who do you think your strongest player is? And that was one of the names that I got, so we'll see if we can expect big things out of her tonight. Gaines tries to tip it over, but Wildcats recover it well. That's set up. Has to get over. Just barely to Stoss. Wilson will find her way. Set up. Tip. Up and over. Stoss now. Set up by Wilson. Gonna find Conklin. Oh, good.
Here comes the libero entering the game, Addie Patrick for the Wildcats. And out goes Stoss.
You know, that's one thing the fans at home might not understand is the rotation and how all that works. It's not like subbing in a player in any other sports game where you just go and trade positions. There's got to be a certain rotation that they follow. Kamiko with a big hit. Up and down. Great block from Kamiko. Unruh taking the serve for the Wildcats. You know, that's what they say in volleyball. It's first one to get to 20, you know, the 20 battle. Because then those last 5 points are just downhill from there. And the Wildcats have just found their way. They kind of took this one away from Bennington. 21-6. The best thing Bennington can do is get ready for the next set and just try to have a better mindset. Not be like, oh man, we're defeated now. Down so much, unrecoverable. They can't get in that headspace because they know they need to capitalize off every little mistake that the Wildcats might make in the next set.
There's an ace from Cami Unruh.
22-6. We'll be back after the timeout. We welcome you back. Unruh kicks it out for the timeout, and Bennington having a struggle of a time trying to get an answer for the Wildcats. You know, they've just been performing perfectly. 23-6, not a great look for Bennington. We'll see how they come back in the second set. It looks like the Wildcats are going to walk away with this one. from number 14, Reese Wolf. Only a sophomore, doing big things on varsity. And it'll be Sarah Winters taking the serve for the Bulldogs. And you know, Bennington's got some history in this gym. They're no strangers to playing in the Den. Had 2 away games last year for different sports, and you know, they know the Wildcats' energy and how to match that. Watson gets it over, and the Wildcats couldn't recover that point. Bennington, could this be the hope they need? Or are the Wildcats going to shut it down before it gets picked up? Hecox sets it up. Nice up and over to Unruh. Hecox gets it through the net. Textbook hit from Hecox. 24-8. Cats, match point here. Can they get it done? Durst will rotate for Doherty. Junior Izzy Durst taking the serve for the set. And it'll be an ace. That'll close out the first set for the Moundridge Wildcats. What a first set for the Wildcats to open like that. 25-8. Did not let Bennington have anything easy. Came in, picked up the energy, and had a great first set. We'll see how they respond in the second set. We will be back.
Welcome back for the second set of this game. I was going to say that Bennington just needs to win or do better this set. I think they just need to get it together and not let all like the errors. They're really like the ball's everywhere. They need to get it together and just get the ball up on all the spikes and serves, limit the aces and all those other errors. In the building tonight is the Lady Wildcats head coach Kaylee Huxman. The Lady Wildcats won state last year and look to do it again with the same group of girls.
Yeah, that'll be exciting to see how they grow into this next season. You know, being defending champs, how are they going to come back for another season? Are they going to go back to back?
You always want to come back
team.
to dominance.
But more on the volleyball topic tonight. How do you think them having a dominant first set is going to get into Bennington's head this second set, or are they going to try and drown that out?
I hope they try to drown it out and give us a good second set here.
So 0-0 now. Bennington, that'll be Sarah Winters, the 5'5" senior, taking the first serve of the second set. Wildcats up 1-0. Hit it to Kamiko. The Bulldogs recover. Big tip over. Saved just at the net. Patrick's going to set it up. Moundridge gets the hit. Heatox comes in and it's blocked. What a block from Bennington to get them riled up. That's the energy you like to see. Moundridge. Kamiko gets it over and saves the point for the Wildcats. And that's the type of point you want to win if you are the Wildcats. That's a big momentum setter as they come in hyped up after that point. You love to see it.
You saw them scrambling, and then they get all together to get the point. Really nice.
And junior Hallie Heatox is going to take the serve for the Wildcats. Gets it over. Winters. Oh, just into the net. That's Maddie Simmons with the whiff there. You know, that's what the Bulldogs need to not do. They need to get those little mistakes and just get them out of the way, or they're going to ruin their whole night. Tip over, has to go over. What a save from Winters. And Ryerson just out of bounds. Gives the point to the Bulldogs. The head coach for the Wildcats, Brian Oddie, coming back after last year. Love to see him. He's a great coach, great guy too. Patrick saves it on her side, sets it to Ryerson. Ryerson's blocked. Heatox saves the point. Patrick, Ryerson again blocked. Bennington tying the game up.
Bennington's coming out a lot stronger this set. Looks like they're more into it. Maybe got the first game jitters out of the way.
Yeah, all the nerves that were in that first set are gone. Bennington is riled up. You love to see great energy in the den. Ryerson almost finds the pocket, and that'll be out. Wildcats respond.
What a dig I saw by number 12, Taylor Watson. Great dig.
Yeah, great to see that from the Bulldogs. Senior Macy Kamiko takes the serve right over the net. Bennington trying to set it up well. They just have to set over to get it over. Kamiko finds Heatox. Ryerson left side, and it's a kill. The freshman Ryerson showing up and showing out. Or excuse me, sophomore this year. Number 15, Harper Ryerson. A great save on Bennington's side, and it's killed again. I think that was Stoss meeting her at the net. And they're going to get a rotation. That's number 5, Addison Gillett, checking into the game. 5'3" junior.
Out goes number 12, Watson.
Yes, sir. Kamiko to the left, shanked out of bounds. you know, that's what the Bulldogs need to iron out. They can't be doing that once they're down 4 points. Got to regroup and recover from those little mistakes. You can't let that happen at this level. They're going to settle. Unruh sets it up to Heath. Stoss just way out and over the line. Going to get the Bennington section riled up.
In comes the libero, Addie Patrick for Moundridge, taking out Macy Kamikow.
Absolute hammer on the Bennington side, saved by Patrick. Heatosh responds with one of her own. Can they recover? Needs to get over, and it won't. The Cats will win the point. And a great one to win, too. Putting them up 4 now.
You know, one thing I noticed today, Joe, was the Wildcats head coach, Brian Audie, always has something to say to his players. He's always near the court, always talking to them.
Yeah, and Audie's one of those guys that just has that really deep volleyball knowledge, and he's going to let you know if you're doing something wrong or how to perfect something, because he's just that high level of a coach.
What a point by the Bulldogs. Number 15 diving.
Point to the Bennington Bulldogs. And that's number 12, Taylor Watson. Excuse me, Marley Rodenbeek with the serve on the Bennington side. But it won't matter because the point goes to the Wildcats. What a performance the Wildcats have shown in these early stages of the night. 25-8 win in the first set, and now they're up 4, leading in the second set. What Bennington needs to do is just calm down, relax, run your sets or whatever you do. Just take your time when the ball is on your side to get a good hit on the other side. Which is obviously the story of volleyball, but you know what I mean. You want to have precision and accuracy. And half of it's mental, too. You guys stay in a good mindset. It'll be Bartlett taking the serve to Heatosh, shanked out of bounds. Bad miss hit from one of the Heatosh sisters. Bartlett again, Patrick with the recovery. Unruh's going to set it up to Conklin. Conklin, big hit to the libero on Bennington's side. They'll get another one right back into the net. Bad miss hit from Benin. You know, it's not easy. They really do make it look easy part of the time, but volleyball's a tough sport. Bennington trying to get their offense going. Nice play from the sophomore, Marley Rodenbeek. Recovery off her miss hit. Nine to 7. Pickering sends it to Unruh. Wilson sends it to Unruh again, and it's blocked at the net. And Bennington coming back, closing the deficit. 9-8. That's Pickering again, out of bounds. They'll call it towards Moundridge's side. 10-8 now. And the next game starts at 7 o'clock, so make sure you are tuning in or coming to the Moundridge High School to watch the game. If you are interested in that sort of thing. If not, get comfy on the couch and tune into the broadcast, so don't go anywhere. 11-8. Unruh picking up the ball for the Wildcats. Sends one to the middle. A gentle set over to Patrick. Wilson will set it up to Heatox. Heatox will try and get it over, and it'll be blocked at the net. Bennington feeling the energy now. They've accommodated and realize what they need to do to get back into this ball game.
The Bulldogs really doing a great job of meeting the Wildcats at the net. I've seen a lot of blocks in this set.
Finn, what do you think the biggest surprise of the game so far is? Or anything you've seen tonight that's just interested you?
What's interested me is the way Bennington has come back the second set after just kind of like rolling over the first set. They've really fought back this set. Really, their defense has improved drastically between the two sets. What about you, Joe?
I think that's a great analogy. I think their defense has been something that they need to work on, but they fixed it in this second set because they're not letting the Wildcats run away with it yet. And they're making all the right plays, such as that one, to give them the point now. 12-10, Bennington only trailing by 2. Now, what do you think Coach Bartlett has had the Bulldogs do to readjust in this second set after a bit of a blowout in the first one?
I think the main objective would just to be calm the girls down and get them ready and get them the right mindset for this next set.
Yeah, totally. I understand that. I think half of it was just them, in their heads, like, oh man, they're just running away with it. There's nothing we can do. And Coach is just like, get it together, find your confidence, and stay composed, and just finish the ball game. And now they've done so much better in this second half that now it's their game to win. How are the Wildcats going to respond to that? Patrick finds Heatox. Unruh with the layup over. And that'll give the Wildcats some momentum going into these upper duration of the set.
I think definitely first game of the year, just get those jitters out the first set. They look like they're completely out and getting ready to have a good match.
Heatox's serve shanked, barely saved over. That point's going to go to the Wildcats. A lift on number 4, Jordan Bartlett. Daughter of the head coach, Jennifer Bartlett. She's got her mom out there to critique her. And Heatox saves that one. Finds Unruh on the right side, and it's blocked. Heatox fixes it. To Heatox again. Unruh will tip it up and over, and it'll barely get through. Bennington has to get it over, and they did. Heatox sets it up. Finds Unruh again for a third time. Shanked off. Bennington somehow recovers it. Patrick now to Stas. Unruh for a 4th time lays it up and over, and it's shanked out of bounds. What a point for the Wildcats. Absolute energy booster, and that'll give them a lot of momentum now, leading by 5. Heatox doesn't even need to jump to get it over. Bartlett tips it to Heatox. Stas now finds Unruh the right side with the set over. Heatox sets it over. Pickering trying to save it on the backside. And they will miscommunication there on the Bulldog side. Timeout Bennington after a rough point for the in favor of the Wildcats, excuse me. Now, Finn, if you were coaching the Wildcats right now, what would you be saying to your players after witnessing that run they had?
I would say just keep the lead, keep playing like you have the lead, keep doing what you've been doing, spike hard, and they'll fall. What do you think, Joe?
You know, I tell them just keep up what they're doing, stay in that mindset, and don't make those little mistakes that Bennington's making. Like that miscommunication, that cannot happen at a varsity level. Wildcats looking strong coming out of the timeout. But if you haven't yet, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you can keep up to date with the Moundridge Sports Network and Wildcat activities. Heatox tips it off after the timeout. Bartlett throws it to Unruh. Heatox saves it. Unruh will just get it over to Pickering. What a layup. The point's still alive. Didn't know Bennington knew that. They thought they'd won that. But it didn't matter because they did. An awkward point for Bennington. Puts them trailing by 5. A rotation now. Rodenbeek will sub in for Simmons. You know, Moundridge was ranked 10th in the preseason. Excuse me, Bennington was ranked 10th in the preseason. But we all know preseason rankings has nothing to do with the actual game. And fun fact, Jordan Bartlett led in digs, kills, and hitting percentage in 2024. So she really is the star of her team. So expect big things out of her tonight if you are watching in particular. 19-12. A rotation for the Bulldogs, 70 and 22. Brooklyn Clark, 5'8" junior, playing front line. Wilson now sets it over. When an ugly mishit from Gaines. Not what you want to see, and that just gets them out of the headspace to perform well. And now Moundridge is at 20. And that's what everyone says in volleyball. You first get to 20, and it's just really, really staggering downhill for the Bulldogs at this moment. Looking like a smooth sailing victory for the Wildcats if they keep up this momentum. Another fun fact for Bennington, Brooklyn Clark, who subbed in last possession, led the team with 45 blocks last season and averaged 11.9 kills per set with a 94.9% serving average last year, which is insane. Henry now gets it over and a kill to get them to 22, up by 10 now.
Wilson with the serve now, over. Here comes the spike, just taps it over, couldn't get high enough. Unruh with the spike, right to them. And the Bulldogs find a gap, and that is in for their 13th point.
You know, that's what I was thinking earlier. Clark, with the track record and what I've seen through my stats as I got ready for this game, is that she's a pretty decent player, and I don't know why they haven't had her in more. I don't know if that's injury related or just what coach's game plan was to save her for the next game or whatever that was, but she's got a lot of potential playing front line for the Bulldogs. Stoss will tip it over. Bennington will settle with the Heatox. Wilson sets up the Conklin. Conklin kills it down. the lengthy kill from the sophomore Conklin. Stoss taking it up for the Wildcats, gets it over. 1, 2, 3, and it kicked it just at the net. Bennington gets a nice little point there. It's Abby Gaines on the point for the Bulldogs. Pickering gives it to Patrick, finds Wilson and Conklin. Conklin lays it up and over. Bennington tries to save it. They do not save it. They call a lift on Wolf. Could be match point and ball game for the Wildcats, depending on what Unruh decides to do with it. Unruh out of bounds. A rotation will happen, taking Gaines and Wolf out of the game for a while, or Rodenbeek, excuse me. 24-15, Wildcats could win it on this one. Just to be fair, I do not see a 9-point comeback or 10-point comeback from the Bulldogs straight. Ryerson's gonna get it to Patrick. It's gotta go over. Kamiko with a nice save. Huge hit on the Bennington side. Hecox give it to Unruh. We'll find Conklin, a little miss. Just off the line of the net.
She saw the gap and tried to hit it, but she just missed by an inch.
Yep, no other way to put it, Finn. And Adi was talking to his players saying, we gotta end it here, end it here. Just don't want to drag it out and maybe let Bennington come back. You just want to mitigate those chances and just get it done and win the game right here. To the best of your ability. Unruh. Kamiko takes her opportunity. And it'll work out. 25-16 Wildcats. 2-0 will take game 1 and win their first game of the regular season.
What do you think that does for the Wildcats' confidence going into the next match?
You know, I think they all know their abilities and what they're doing for the game. But to kick off the night with a win at home and not lose a single set builds momentum, builds team chemistry, puts them all in a good mood, like, hey, we did this. With no, like, what's the word? It's a new team for some of these players, and for them to win their first game is a great, great morale booster on the Wildcats side. But 10 minutes cool down time until we get to our next game. We will see you guys in a little bit.
Hello and welcome back. Now is a JV game of Moundridge versus Bennington. My name is Finn Linticum and I'm without my partner Joseph Azarito until the next varsity game. The Bulldogs start with the serve here with number 26, Emily Korperich, the senior. Here comes the serve. And it's over, and dug by Bree Malmog, the set, and the double clutch by Anna Gawley gets it over by the tip. Spike. Ashton Patrick with the set. It's Peyton Wilson. Peyton Wilson spikes it into the net. The score is now 1-0 Bulldogs. The serve over. Dug by the libero. And that is hit out by number 26 for the Bulldogs. Point to Moundridge. Now up to serve for the Wildcats, Izzy Durst, the junior. And her serve is over. Dug by the libero for Bennington. Set by Izzy Durst to Allison Schrog with the spike, and that is good for the kill. Durst back up to serve. Serve gets over right to the libero. Set. And the attempt to get over was blocked by the net. Point Moundridge, 3-1. That's Durst with the serve. No return by the Bulldogs. Durst looking dominant as the server for the Wildcats. Here comes the serve from Durst. Over to number 19. And the over by the Bulldogs. Set by Ashton Patrick to Allison Schrog. The spike is a little too hard and ends up out of bounds near the bench. 4-2 Wildcats. The serve by number 19 by the Bulldogs ends up in the net. Point Moundridge. Subs coming in for Moundridge are number 1 Aspen Blaylock, number 5 Kira Stuckey, and going now is number 19 Adelaide Conquest and number 17 Ashton Patrick. Served by Blaylock is over to number 26. Spike by number 5 ends up in bounds. And that is a kill for Addison Gillett. 3-5 Wildcats. Now back to serve for the Bulldogs. Number 22, Brooklyn Clark. Serves over to Blaylock. The set by Durst. Over to Gawley. And that's over. Now the Bulldogs, number 16 with the spike. And that is tipped off the libero, number 99, Lennon Graber's hands, out of bounds. Point to the Bulldogs. Here comes the over, the spike by Kira Stuckey to number 16 for the Bulldogs. The libero, Lennon Graber to Izzy Durst, and the Kira Stuckey with the tip over the net. The putback by Allison Schrog into the defender's face, out of bounds by the Bulldogs, and that was Point Moundridge. Now back to the serve for the Wildcats, the freshman Anna Gawley. Serve gets over. The set by Izzy Durst to Kira Stuckey, number 5. The spike was just way too hard. Hit really good, but way too hard and out of bounds. 5-6, Wildcats. Out goes number 22, Anna Gawley, and in comes the junior, Landry Forster. Leave the fault. Serve coming over by number 16. Kaylin Ortman with the spike. But that's a fall into the net by Kaylin Ortman. Point goes to the Bulldogs. The score is now 6-6. Blocked by Ortman. The Bulldogs get it over to Izzy Durst. Set by Allison Strog to Ortman. The spike just gets over the net, and the score is...
And after that point, the score is now 6-7. It's 6-7 right now.
Out goes Izzy Durst, the junior, and in comes Peyton Wilson, the freshman. And also going out for the Wildcats is Allison Schragen, coming in as the junior Bree Malmog, which is on the serve. Serves it over. And the hit. Now Wilson with the hit. Gets over, hits the net, but still gets over. Blocked by Stuckey. That's a point Wildcats. Scores now 8-6 Wildcats. Malmog over to the libero for the Bulldogs. Backward set. Landry. Good set over the net by Peyton Wilson. Wilson with the dig to Malmog. Back to Wilson. Gets over the net. Back to Wilson. Malmog to Stuckey for the spike. Gets over. Good rally here. Wildcats will get it over. That's by Ortman. What a save by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs get it back over. Ortman with the spike. And finally the rally ends. And that is a point Moundridge. What a great rally there between both teams. Malmog still up to serve. Here comes the serve. The hit by number 2. Madeline Rounds, the junior, gets over and just gets out to the outstretched arms of number 7, Landry Forrester. Now back to serve, number 5, Addison Gillett. And the spike by Wilson just ends up short, off the fingertips into the net. The score is now 9-8. Moundridge still ahead. Gillett with the serve. Wildcats kind of scrambling backwards, but still get it over with the set by Bree Malmog over the net. Number 2 with the spike over the net and just a little too far out of bounds. That is Madeline Rounds. Number 2 for the Bulldogs, just a little too much. So the score is now 10-8. Moundridge with that point there for Moundridge. And now out of the game is Kira Stuckey and Aspen Blaylock, and into the game is Addie Conquest and someone I cannot see. Weird hop off the ceiling. There's a weird hop off the ceiling, but the point still goes to Moundridge. Spike by Ashton Patrick just goes a little bit too far. Definitely playing in the den is a hard place to play because the ceilings are so low. It can give you some unruly hops off of the ceiling, making it hard for the team to play. Now back to the libero. Number 1, Addison. I'm not sure. The spike by Patrick gets through and leaves the Bulldogs scrambling. The spike by Patrick is good. 12-9, Moundridge. Subs coming in. Out goes Landry Forster, and in comes number 22, Anna Golly. And out goes Kaylin Ortman for Lennon Graber, the libero. The libero over with the serve to the Bulldogs. Now number 22 with the spike into Bree Malamog. The Wildcats scramble and get it over. Now the Bulldogs are trying to set up another. The libero diving and almost gets it up, but just out of the outstretched arms of Ashton Patrick. Bulldogs point. Now it is 12-10. Bulldogs down. The serve over. Golly with that hit. Over to the libero. Patrick with the spike. Finds it just short enough that it reaches the outstretched arms. That does not reach the outstretched arms of the Bulldogs. That is a point, Moundridge, 13-10. Out goes Peyton Wilson, the freshman. In comes Izzy Durst and Addie Conquest. And out goes Bree Malamog as well. Set by Izzy Durst to Allison Strog. Just out of bounds. Point Bulldogs. 13-11 now. Addie Conquest to Izzy Durst. Spiked by Anna Golly. Durst to Strog. Strog's over is blocked. Addie Conquest finds it over. Point Moundridge as the Bulldogs cannot return. Okay, welcome back. All you guys missed was a point by the Bulldogs. The score is now 12-4 Moundridge. 12-14 Moundridge. The spike over by number 22 to Kiera Stuckey. Izzy Durst to Kiera Stuckey. Kiera Stuckey tips it over. Bulldogs, number 16, trying to look for the spike. Blocked by Anna Golly, but slips over the net, and Moundridge just failed. Spike by Stuckey. Bulldogs trying to get something. Bulldogs find it in. Number 16 squeaks it in on the back line. 13-14 Bulldogs. Now serving number 22, Brooklyn Clark, the junior. To the libero, number 99. Kiera Stuckey gets it over. Blocked, but the net, it gets over the net just barely. Here comes a serve from Anna Golly. Over to the Bulldogs. Here comes number 2, Spike. Straight to Aspen Blaylock. This set by Durst. Over to Allison Strog, and that is just out of bounds. The score is now 14-15 Wildcats. Back to serve for the Bulldogs is number 16, Maddie Schamberg, the senior. Strog set to Ortman. Oh, we have a fault by the Bulldogs. Fault on that serve, so we're going to see the re-serve from Maddie Schamberg. Wildcats just can't find it through, and it gets short of the net. Point Bennington. Bennington has found their first lead of the game. See if they can hold on. The serve by the Bulldogs just ends up out of bounds. What a great read by Anna Golly. Score is now all tied at 16. Going back to serve for the Wildcats is the junior, Bree Madelmog. Serve is over, but off number 5's arms. That is an ace for Bree Modelmog. Modelmog serve. Set by Modelmog to Durst. Durst hits it just too hard, out of bounds. Point Bulldogs, all tied at 17. Here comes the hit. Kira Stuckey just tips it over the net, finds a hole in the defenders, and that is point Moundridge. 18-17, Moundridge has regained their lead. Just a reminder, folks, if you are in town and want to come watch some good volleyball, Varsity starts at 7 o'clock. Addie Conquest with the serve. Number 1, the libero for Bennington, just hits it out off of her arms. That is an ace for Addie Conquest. Now coming into the game, number 17, Ashton Patrick, and going out is number 1, Aspen Blaylock for the Wildcats. Conquest serve. Off of number 19's outstretched arms. And that is an ace, another ace for Addie Conquest, 2 in a row. The score is now 20-17, Moundridge.
And we would like to thank some of our sponsors this broadcast, one of them being the Citizen State Bank and the Moundridge Food Market. So thank you for sponsoring the broadcast.
Addie Conquest with the dig. The set to Patrick. Patrick's spike over is digged up by Bennington. Bennington now trying to set up a good spike. Conquest with the dig to Bree Modelmog. Patrick with another spike. Hits the libero's arms as it was going out. That is a point Moundridge. 21-17, Moundridge. And we're going to have here a timeout Bennington. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. Conquest serve is over to the libero, number 1 for Bennington. The hit just does not get over and ends short of Bennington's net. And there's another point, Moundridge, 22-17. Conquest is up to serve again. And it gets over to the libero. The libero bumps it up. And that is out. Just the spike is way too hard and just gets out of bounds. 23-17, Moundridge. Yet another serve by Conquest. Over to number 19 for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs put it over. Set by Bree Modelmog to Kaylin Ortman. Spiking it straight to the back row through a gap. Now this could be set point here for the Wildcats, 24-17. Let's see if they can get an ace maybe. And the serve by Conquest just ends up in the net, just short. And now it's 24-18 Bulldogs. In comes number 22 for the Bulldogs. That would be Brooklyn Clark, and out goes number 2, Madeline Rounds. The serve over. Patrick with the spike. The libero dives and brings it up. Golly with the pass, the set by Modelmog, the hit by Durst, and the Bulldogs recover. The over by the Bulldogs to Conquest. Wildcats are stumbling. Let's see if they can get over. And they will not get it over. That is a point to the Bulldogs. Now number 1 serve gets over to Conquest. Modelmog to Patrick with the spike is blocked, tipped, and that gets down. And the Wildcats will win this set. 25-19. And we will be back after this short break.
this is JV volleyball after the nice win for the Varsity Cats in the first game that they played. They'll play again around 7 o'clock, depending when this one ends. Solid matchup we've seen so far. But yeah, this is a great time for the JV just to hone in their skills and just, you know, get those reps in game. So you'd love to see it happening. Stuckey gets met at the net. Ties up the game 10-10. Golly, finds Stuckey too soon. Taking the serve for Bennington is Maddie Simmons, who we saw for Varsity tonight. And that'll be hit out of bounds by Kira Stuckey, number 5. We will come back to you when the varsity starts. We're just going to let JV do their thing for a little bit, and we'll see you just before tip-off. that will conclude your JV game against Bennington for the Moundridge Wildcats. They'll take it away 25-22. And now we will pick up where we left off at 5 o'clock. Varsity hits the stage, seeing if they can win the doubleheader tonight. right, and we welcome you back to the second varsity event of the night. Sorry for the technical issues. We're having a bit of the huddle camera problem. We'll try and get that ironed out as fast as possible, but can give you a bit of a radio vibe while we're waiting on that. So Moundridge won the first set earlier at 5 o'clock tonight, and it was 2-0. They had a smooth time finishing out the Bulldogs, but we'll see how Bennington will respond in this second game and see if they can tie the night or go down at 0-2 to start their season, which would not be a good look. But Moundridge looks very strong in the first game, so we'll see how that translates tonight. I'm joined here with Anna Golly, freshman, trying out the broadcasting. Anna, what are your thoughts so far coming into this game?
Watching the first game, all I noticed is Moundridge has been really attacking hard, and Bennington is getting a little shaken up by that, but they've also been very scrappy, been able to cover for balls that they don't think are coming. And they've been able to hang in this game. They did not finish out the first game, but we'll see how it goes the next one.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. What do you think Bennington needs to do to try and win this game for themselves?
I think they need to start attacking the ball more. I feel like they got so much scrappy balls that they ended up having to give a free ball to the other side. And I feel like if they get more opportunities to hit at Moundridge, I think like they'll have a better opportunity to get some points back from last game that they lost.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to describe it. Couldn't say it better myself. All right, we're going to turn on our camera for a bit and get a little bit of the sideline show going, I guess we'll call it this season. So, volleyball had a great start tonight. They executed very well, put themselves up 2-0. And the refs were having a little bit of a scuffle. Sorry to draw my attention away, but no, a great start to their night. We're going to try and get the huddle camera fixed for you guys back at home. First game, a lot of technical difficulties, so sorry about that. Doing our best over here on the Sports Network. But varsity is about to kick off, and I think it's going to be trying to figure out whose ball is going to start.
Looks like Bennington will get served first.
Bennington will start it off. That's Sarah Winters, which we saw last game, and she was a big player on their guys' team.
Nice little jump float there right to Hattie Hecox. Yeah. Blocked by number 8, Riley Brennan, but went out, so Moundridge point. Hallie Hecox back to serve for the Wildcats. Dug by Jordan Bartlett to a right side hit. Kill by number 12, Taylor Watson.
Sorry, I got stopped by some people.
Nice little tip there by Macy Kamikawa to score the point for Moundridge.
we welcome you back. 4-1 is your score. Sorry for the bit of the interruption. Got the huddle cam fixed. We are all set to round out this ball game tonight. It is 5-1 already. The Cats have took a staggering lead early on in the second game, and they've pretty much been dominating all night. They've executed everything to perfection. Very minimal mistakes. And on the Bennington side, they've kind of just stayed uncomposed, and they haven't been able to execute their ball game well. But a bit of a miscommunication there for the Wildcats is going to set things aside.
Yeah.
And that's Pickering, number 15, taking the serve for Bennington, trying to put them up, and it will not be a good serve. That's going straight into the net. Heacock sends it over to Pickering now, finding Winters. Winters over to Heacox. Heacox finds Stoss. Save there by Winters. Good save on the ground. Pickering will set it up. Hammer from Clark will give Bennington the point. Now 6-3. Led by head coach Brian Oddie and assistant coaches Lindsey Bignosh and Brittany Stoss. And on the Bennington side, head coach Danita Tanzer and Jennifer Bartlett with assistant coach Andrea Pickard. We're seeing some nice things out of Rodenbeek in this game, other than last game. Heacox, the Heacox way out. Just a bit of an overhit from Heacox. Right idea, tried to command the floor, but just couldn't get it done on that last point. Rodenbeek finds Patrick to Ryerson. Heacox with a big hit. Point Moundridge. Good response out of Heacox, missing the last point.
Good recovery off of that last play. Hattie wasn't really quite set up for her first attack, but she timed it better the second time, and it executed better.
Yeah, and as we've been going through the game, I've noticed a lot of trying to find that open spot on the floor to hit the ball to, but it's hard when there's just not a lot of space.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, Bennington is very scrappy, and so they're finding ways to get to the ball, whether it's where they're at or not.
Great dig there. Rodenbeek finds Winters. Patrick now to Wilson. Heacox comes in the middle. Hard hit, but a good save on the Bennington side. Clark sends it in. A nice point from Bennington there. Not very rowdy in the den right now, but hopefully it'll start to pick up. See if any of these teams can go on a run. It's kind of close right now. Bennington coming back. It's like 6-7 right now. Moundridge leading. Bartlett just hits it out of bounds, will give Moundridge the point. And Kamiko will rotate in for Patrick, setting up a new line in the front. Stoss, good ball to the left side. Blocked at the net. Conkling with a massive block. Unruh with an absolute kill. Oh my goodness. What a point. And that'll be out for Bennington now.
Brooklyn Clark Jr. up to serve for Bennington. Nice little topspin serve, 10-foot line. Finds right in the donut. Beautiful spot by Bennington.
Now, I've never heard that term before, Anna. What exactly is the donut in a volleyball game?
Ideally, the donut is right over the middle blocker where there's not a passer close enough to get to it. And normally it's open when the middle blocker is in the air. And it just causes chaos for the other side.
Never heard of that before. I'll have to add that one to the vocabulary list. Moundridge will run away with that point, making it 9-8 as of now. And Anna, if you know any more lingo or just something that you want to explain, feel free to. So I'm sure the viewers at home are wondering some interesting facts about volleyball. And we also want to give a shout out to our booster club for making this possible tonight and all the work that they do to set up events like this. So thank you, Booster Club, which will always also be in charge of the tailgating Friday night for football, which Moundridge will play Bennington also at home. So if you can't be there, make sure you're tuning into the Sports Network because we will be there. And that is a game you do not want to miss. Big names like Kaiser Knitz and Easton Shahan will be the talk of the town for that game, I'm sure. But back to the volleyball action. Patrick sets it up to Unround, finds Hecox with the floater over. Great vision there from the Wildcats. And Conklin comes out of nowhere to find Sarah Winters. Patrick again to Unruh. Hecox with the block, or is blocked by Riley Benning.
But it went out, so Moundridge point.
Volleyball's tough. Hecox down the middle to Pickering. To Bartlett. Patrick with save. Ryerson now off the top of the ceiling. Hits the antenna. And it'll be a point Bennington. Bennington's doing a great job of not letting Moundridge go on a run this game. Definitely cleaned up their act in the locker room in between sets.
Yes, they have been definitely more scrappy this game than last one, which would be hard to beat. But they've been finding the spots that Moundridge is trying to hit, and they've been executing their defense really, really well.
And what an opening spot from Benny, finding that corner pocket. Just laying down some heat. Unruh intercepts to Hecox. Hecox again. Hecox squared! Nice hit from Hecox, sending Moundridge up.
Beautiful cut by Hattie right there, right around the middle blocker. There was really nothing they could do about it right there.
Talking to his players, getting them ready and in the mindset to win this set. Kamiko with a nice ball in the center of the court, led to the Moundridge point. Kamiko tees it up down the fairway. Bennington trying to get something going, and they do. Nice floater to secure the point. Bennington's not out of this yet. They're not letting Moundridge go on a huge run like they did in the first game. Heavy defense is going to be the key for Bennington this game. Hecox sets it up to Hecox. Hecox again, nice hit. Met at the net is Stas. Hecox finds Hecox again, and it's blocked, which will give Moundridge the point because it went out of bounds. It's a nice attack and assist for the Hecox sisters.
Wonderful recovery there by Harper Ryerson after that block. It's hard to figure out where it's going to go, and she was right there to meet it the entire time.
And that's shanked off of Hecox. Some rotations will be made on the Bulldogs side.
So far in this game, I feel like the best shot selection for at least Moundridge has been hitting the deep corners. Once the rally gets going, both teams just seem to creep up, and when you get out of system, I think it's a great time to send it to the deep corners, and it seems to be executing pretty well for the Wildcats.
Yeah, when they have players like Unruh and Hetox who can get to those corners effectively and perform efficiently at a high level, it's going to be really easy for them on the offense side. And Wilson just can't pancake that one.
Up to serve now for the Wildcats is Aspen Stoss to serve her deep ball.
And a good rally so far by Bennington. Wilson's going to find that floater on her side. Conklin ready for the block, and it won't connect. Hetox can't dig that one.
Nice thumb down attempt right there by number 12, Watson. She saw where the block was, hit right down the middle, worked.
Nice ball from the Bulldogs. Patrick will set it up to Wilson, and Cami will find it out of bounds. It's Cami Unruh on the miss hit, number 3. Patrick to Wilson, finds Hetox floater, and it'll connect off the ear of the Wildcat.
Right in the donut. Like I said earlier, it's one of the best spots to put the free ball.
You know, it's a little bit of a mind game, too, I've realized, because you don't know if they're going to try and get that floater or just attack it and hit as hard as they can. A lot of prediction-based gameplay.
It's all about reading off their body. If they're coming up hard and then they tip, like, there's really nothing you can do about it. So.
And a nice ball from Kamiko. Trying to win that 20 battle like we talked about last game. You know, first team to 20 has a good set, or good chance to win the set, excuse me. Patrick over, finds Conklin. That ball will be shanked. Point Moundridge as they win the 20 battle. Timeout, Coach Bartlett for the Bennington Bulldogs.
Okay. So far in this game, I feel like both teams have been very good about controlling the out-of-system balls and reacting to the other team's chaos. I think during this timeout, Bennington's coach Tanzer will try to attempt to find holes in the Wildcats' defense, and so far that might be the deep corners once they start creeping up, or right over the right side blocker. Other than that, I don't know what else they would be talking about.
Off. Bad shank. Can they recover? They will. Nice recovery from Bennington. Won't matter as it's chased into the stands.
Beautiful quick off one leg by Mackie Conkling right there. Executed to perfection.
Line judges tonight is government teacher Jack Conkling, urban legend at Moundridge, if you know, you know. And track coach Brian Holloway on the Bennington side. So those are your line judges for the night. Audie's gonna have some words to his players discussing the game plan. (21-17). Moundridge leading. Nice save from Peacock. Kamiko hooks it into the net.
Back to service, Sarah Winters from Bennington.
We've seen Sarah Winters have a good game. First game, you know, she was doing a lot and as much as she could for her team and tried to get the positive momentum going, but the Wildcats have just shut down the Bulldogs tonight. They've answered much better in this set alone, but Wildcats make plays like that, and it's just hard to come back from that when they have such a dominant powerhouse that they're working with.
If I were Bennington right now, they really just need to get a stop. A couple stops in a row, and they're right back in this thing. It's only set one. Anything can happen. But that does not help their case.
And the Bulldogs just look drained, no life on their side, and it's just tough when you have that mindset and you're stuck in it. There's nothing you can do about it. You hate to see that. Pickering finds Rodenbeek in the pocket to Patrick. Peacocks finds Ryerson, and Ryerson just out of bounds. Good look, though, from the Cats, trying to recover that. And keep in mind, it is win by 2 in order to secure your team a set. Peacocks finds Peacocks, and another one out of bounds.
This is exactly what I meant by they just need to get a couple stops. They're only 3 points behind. It won't take very much for them to get right back in this thing. Just need to keep their head down and keep going.
And a nice floater from Kamiko. Close to securing set 1. And Kamiko, a chance to ice the game. It's match point as of now. She'll set it up. It'll be shanked out of bounds. The ace and the win for the set. Kamiko leading that set.
And going into the second set, the adjustments I think that need to be made by Bennington in order to keep themselves back in this game is maybe to start up a bunch block. And that means having all 3 front row players block the middle. Moundridge seems to be getting around the block pretty easily, so maybe that would be a good adjustment to help them execute better.
Yeah, no, totally. I think Bennington has done even though they didn't come out with the win on that set, I think they responded well and they're fixing their mistakes that they made in the first game.
Yeah.
But Moundridge has just shown utter perfection. No losses so far on the night, and they were looking really strong going into set 2.
And yes, Moundridge has by far been winning the battle at the net tonight, and that really can sway this game from one side to the other.
And we will be back in 2 minutes for set 2. we welcome you back. Set 2, Wildcats leading by 1 in the best of 3. And junior Hallie Hecox will set us off. Hecox lights the firework for set 2. Winters will try to find something. Rodenbeek over. Can't get there. Not a high energy in the den tonight. A lackluster point to set us off. And the student section's doing their best to get the fans riled up. And a nice recovery from Hecox to Kamiko. And Patrick now waiting to find Hecox. Hecox. Tip off the hand will give Moundridge the point. As Adi is impressed with that rally. Hecox third in a row. Can she keep the streak? Unruh finds Kamiko. Kamiko smothers it into the opening.
So far, Bennington just needs to get a good serve-receive pass up so they can set themselves up to give Moundridge some chaos. But they really can't seem to be getting these serve passes up very well.
So Anna, from what you've seen tonight, what do you think Bennington's strengths and weaknesses are, and vice versa for the Wildcats?
Bennington's, I've said it before, I'll say it again, they are very quick on their feet and they will find the ball that you probably wouldn't think they can get to. Moundridge, however, is very good at setting up pass that hit, and they've executed that very well tonight.
And that'll put Bennington on the board for the first time in this set, making it 5-1. Getting them fired up a little bit. That was number 12, Watson with the serve and the recovery there. Finds Winters to belt Bartlett. Hecox finds Unruh. Unruh with authority. Rodenbeek just has to fist it over. Hecox finds Kamiko with the floater. Shanked a little bit left. And it's blocked right back. And another block hit from Kamiko, excuse me.
That is the beauty of having a left-handed right side hitter, is a lot of times defenses forget about it, and then she can just come up real easily and attack it off of 1 foot.
And that's very tough for Bennington to make that read in the middle of a play or rally.
Back to serve is the libero Pickering. Moundridge tried to set up a quick to Stoss, but it was not executed correctly.
Hecox tries to deflect it back. Ryerson gets it up. Unruh finds Hecox to Stoss. Stoss with the floater, can't get it down. Bartlett settles. Unruh gets Patrick. And Stoss an opportunity. Pickering finds Clark. And Clark has set the floater up and over, making it 6-4 on the ball game.
Nice little roll shot there by Hattie Hecox. Pass almost to the net. Recovered barely by Bennington Clark. Nice little tip off the block. Gives Moundridge another point.
Hecox now with the serve. Down the fairway. Finds Watson. Nice hit on the Bennington side. Hecox finds Unruh. Unruh that play a hook left. Clark to Hecox. We give Unruh another opportunity. Right down. Finds the open pocket and just executes to perfection. Great read from Unruh. Block back gives Bennington the point. Gotta be careful with those out of bound blocks that close to the net.
So far in the second set, it feels like Bennington has executed the big rallies and Moundridge has gotten the little points. So it feels more like Bennington has the momentum going into this second half of the second set. And right as I say that, beautiful kill by Hattie Hecox from the back row. Freshman Peyton Wilson up to serve. So it looks like Audie is calling for a bunchery right now, which means all three blockers will be blocking against their middle.
So 10-6 right now. Not a lot to talk about. Moundridge had just been dominating the court tonight and really showing out for the home crowd on their season opener. And a play like that from Unruh just has to kill the momentum on the Bulldog side. Stoss tees it up. Pipes it down the middle. Bennington really needs to get their offense started and going if they want a chance to come back in this second game. If not, Moundridge is going to breeze out of here with 2 wins on the night. 5-point lead for the Cats. Stoss in hand. They have to settle with a set. Wilson finds Unruh. A big kill from Unruh, making it look easy out there. Moundridge flawless tonight, trying to keep their momentum going. (13-8) so far.
So far in this game, what do you think, service-wise, the other team, each team is doing to each other to execute on service?
Yeah, I think both teams are playing great, but Moundridge has just shown that they're more capable to execute their plays than Bennington has, if that's what you're referring to.
Based off of serves, I feel like Moundridge has found the players that are weaker in their passing spots at the moment and are finding ways to execute through serves.
we're getting us back into action. Bulldogs need to find the offensive momentum or they are fried. Patrick finds Kamiko. Kamiko tips it through the net. I've seen great plays from Kamiko and Unruh all night. And Hetox is there with another one, but just left out of bounds, giving the point to Bennington, making it 15-9 in our ball game so far.
Winters back up to serve for the Bulldogs.
You know, one thing I haven't seen tonight is like extensively long rallies. Like I feel like each point ends super quickly, like 2 back and forths at most. Count this one, I'm serious. See, there's 1. Not even 2. It's not like if you just watch a college volleyball game and it's back and forth like 10 times until 1 point happens. Those take forever. Hetox trying to defer it. Hetox with the answer. Huge hit with authority. And the student section letting them know there's a ball in the court. Not sure what that's about, but we'll move on. 16-10, Hetox number 2. Teeing off the serve. Great ball placement. Rodenbeek finds something, tries to keep it alive as Kamiko there, and it will. Hetox, what a save. And Rodenbeek with a miss hit awards the point to Moundridge. 17-10.
Hallie back to serve with her jump float. That one more had a little bit of a top spin on it.
And the point is still alive. No.
4 touches by the Wildcats.
And it'll go Bennington's way. Bit of an early celebration, but it worked out for them. And Audie is a little confused on the call there. The refs initially said 4 touches, but they're debating it, so we'll see what happens with the final decision. But there's not a lot of overturning calls in high school games, so if I had to guess, it's going to stay 4 touches, because we don't do instant replay in high school.
Looks like the call will stand.
Will stand, yes. And Audie's getting a little upset towards the ref. And Audie's letting him know that it was a bad call and a red card, I think, will be awarded to Audie. Coach was not happy with that turnout on that, and he let him know. And that's what you like to see. Audie's one of those guys who will always tell it how it is. He's not gonna perseverate on anyone's feelings, if you know what I'm talking about.
Audie's logic is different than anybody else's logic. Whatever he thinks might not be what anybody else thinks.
Yeah, and you get the inside scoop because you're at practice with him.
Yes.
That guy's a recluse to me. I don't ever see him.
He, in fact, is debating with the ref right now with both of his arms out of his sling that he is supposed to be having one in at all times.
What's the sling for?
He had surgery on his rotator cuff.
So did Holloway tore something in his arm.
Oh.
But we don't gotta be airing out people's personal business. Dodge thoughts and prayers for a speedy recovery. Taking their time to defer this here. Audie's super upset. A red card for Coach Audie. But the Cats are eating this up, not letting anything slow them down. 17-12. So I don't know if I fully understand what happens when you get a red card or yellow card. You just get points, or like?
I have no idea. This is the first time I have witnessed one been given.
What an answer from the Wildcats. 18-12. You know, they had their game plan tonight, and they just came in and executed to perfection. And you know, they're probably going to be the first of 20, and if I had to guess, they're going to close it out this game. But
despite what's going on the bench right now, they're still executing what they came here to play.
And Heatox will save it. A rough offensive possession for the Cats, but it won't matter because Bennington are going to out, sending it 19-12. So like I said earlier, make sure you either tune in or show up to football on Friday. They'll play Bennington as well at 7 o'clock around there. So just keep up to date. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow the Sports Network to stay up to date with Wildcat physical activities. And after the rally there, it'll make it 19-13, excuse me. Moundridge trailing, leading. Goodness gracious.
If Bennington wanted to crawl back into this game, they won their point right there, and they had their opportunity to get a serve, but missed serves in this case scenario is not what you need.
And they've just made too many little mistakes tonight that overall has cost them the points. Like that, and at a varsity level, you cannot be serving into the net. I get first game jitters, but they've already played, and it's just not a good look for the Bulldogs. 21-13. And a bad recovery from Bennington. Just no light on their side of the court. And once again, thank you to the Food Market and Citizen State Bank for sponsoring your Moundridge Sports Network.
Looks like Audie, from his red card, has been forced to sit on the bench, which he is not necessarily living up to.
I think a timeout has been called for one of the teams, but yeah, Anna, you want to kind of just recap what has happened so far and how do you think the rest of it's going to play out?
I think just Moundridge has overall been winning the fundamental game. They've passed that hit better than Bennington has, and Bennington just hasn't been able to recover. Bennington, if they want to be able to get a chance in this game, they just need to get a basic play and attack against Moundridge. If they can't do the fundamental things, then there's just no chance at this point, with Moundridge needing 3 points to win this game.
Yeah, for sure. But anything can happen. We'll see if the Wildcats can hurry up and close it out, or if Bennington's going to drag it on. Heatox now finds Pickering on the other side to Watson. Finds Heatox. Unruh on the left side tries the open pocket. Clark sets it over. Both Heatox sisters on the ground. Ryerson with a nice attack there. And Winters will gain, Bartlett will gain some momentum for Bennington.
That's
22-14.
That's exactly what I meant by Bennington needs that little fundamental thing to crawl back into this thing.
Exactly. And a nice attempt from Patrick trying to save that rally. Just couldn't happen. But Bennington kind of finding a little bit of life.
Looks like that short little topspin caught Cammie a little bit off guard and just caused that little bit of chaos right there.
And Stoss. The moment something happens for the Wildcats, it goes, oh.
In the net.
They called in the net on the Wildcats. And the Cats are letting the refs hear it.
So now 22-16. After that in the net call. We don't know who it was on, but it was called. The coaches from the Moundridge side were not very happy about that.
And another point just sends Bennington ecstatic. Full of life now. They're recharged after these 4 points that they've gained back. Still trailing. We'll see if the Moundridge Wildcats can recover, or are we going to a third set to decide game 2. Moundridge will win the rally there. A rotation will happen. Wilson and Conkling will now check into the game for Heath-Cox and Ryerson.
Freshman Wilson, the only freshman on varsity this year so far, up to serve for the Wildcats. And beautiful spot.
Can Clark save it? She will. Patrick to Wilson, finds Unruh with the floater. Oh, and a backwards hit, finds Clark again, blocked at the net. Sets it up to Conkling. Conkling down the middle to Pickering. Find Bartlett, and Bartlett will hit it into the net, frustrated with herself. Moundridge to send the night away and secure game 2. Wilson for all the marbles. Beautiful ball to the middle. Out of bounds. Wildcats clean up, sweeping the night. 2-0, 2-0. To win both games. Amazing opener for the Wildcats. And the student section will end off with the I Believe. But as always, I'm your play-by-play commentator, Joe Azarito, and I was joined tonight by Finn Linthicum and Anna Gali as my color analysis, and that was our first volleyball game back from last season. We will see you guys Friday night. Thank you so much. Have a good night.